Good morning, welcome to day 17 of your daily wellness, and today we do fish pose. So a nice lying down back bend, and in fact we're going to do the whole of our class lying down today as promised. So you may want a cushion for your head for some of it, you may not want the cushion, you may want your block if you have a block or a book or something that you can use to lift up if you want that. But otherwise, bring it down onto your back, planting the feet on the floor. Take a moment to lift the tailbone up, lengthen the waist, so bringing the whole spine down into the mat. Wiggle shoulder blades together, take the feet a little bit wider than hips or shoulders, and then just allow the knees to come in together. Bring your left hand to your heart or to your chest, bring your right hand to your belly. Close your eyes and take a few breaths to settle in to the here and now. Feel the spine in alignment. If it feels wonky, take a moment to adjust. Maybe you need to lift and lengthen through the lower back again, or lift the head and tuck the chin and then place it back down. Feel your belly rise and fall. Feel the gentle movement through your chest and listen to the sound of your breath as you sink down into the floor. From there, gently release the hands away. Bring the feet into alignment now, so probably about hip distance apart. Imagine that you've got this line coming down sort of just inside the shoulders, all the way down through the hips and down through the heels, out through the toes. So the whole of the body is kind of in alignment. Scoop the tailbone under, really bring the lower back down into the mat. Use the feet to press firmly, feeling that little bit of activation through the legs. Opening the chest. Good. From here, bump your hips over to the right. So wiggle it over to the right. Cross the right leg over the left. Bring your left hand to the outside of the right leg. We're going to come into a gentle twist, just slowly allowing the body to come over. Maybe we reach the right arm open and just notice the sensation, that opening through the front of the chest, through the armpit. Left hand can rest wherever's comfortable for you. Breathe nice and deep into the belly. Feel that expansion and the contraction. Notice the sensation as you breathe. Take a minute to lock the core in as we come back up through center. Bump the hips over to the other side. Cross the left leg over the right. Use the right arm to ease the legs over. You can place the right hand wherever it's comfortable, sometimes on the abdomen or out to the side or on the leg. And then take the left hand out. Allow that opening through the front of the chest, just the weight of the arm gently opening up. As you breathe nice and deep into the belly. Gently lock in from the middle as you bring it back up to center. Good. From here, bring the knees into the chest. Take a moment, keeping the spine long, just hug the knees in, take a little roll side to side. And then plant the feet down, bring the toes to the floor first so it's nice and close towards you, heels in, and again making them about hips distance so we can keep that parallel line between hips, knees and feet. Bring the palms of the hands down onto the mat, shoulder blades wiggle together. As we inhale, we start to tuck the tailbone and lift up. As you exhale, we come down. This is where you realise, particularly for me, how tight you are in the front when that's as far as you can lift. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale down, just gently working with your breath. Taking 2 more breaths. Good, 1 more. Good, gently roll the legs one side and the other, not all the way down as such, just lengthening out through the sides of the back. Good, and then from there, we're going to roll it over onto your front. So from here, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx pose, you want elbows under the shoulders and hands going parallel, so don't let them come in or out. We want nice parallel hands. Grip with the fingers and imagine that we're trying to pull forward, so we're pulling back with the elbows, trying to pull the chest forwards, and then we come up and then we tuck the chin. So Sphinx pose, we're using the elbows, that grip through the fingertips, to imagine that we're trying to slide the body forwards like a slug. Really attractive visual there. Sliding forwards like a slug. Open the chest, shoulder blades come together, chin tucked just slightly. Breathe into your belly, feeling the stretch through the front of the body. And exhale, slowly release it down. Good, cobra pose next, bringing the hands a little further back, so this time the hands are under the shoulders. Same principle of bringing the chest forwards as the shoulders roll together, back and down. We gently lift, tuck the chin. Feel that opening of the chest, the big activation through the shoulder blades. Palms are simply supporting, we're not trying to push right up into anything. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Good, gently release it down, forehead to the earth. Good, from here, we're actually going to take the hands back, interlace your fingers. Now you have options, you can keep the palms together and pull back here, or if you haven't quite got the space, if you can't quite get the shoulders together enough, keep them squared off, so just the fingertips are interlacing. From here, we're going to reach down. Again, imagine the shoulders coming back as the chest comes forwards. Squeeze your glutes, tuck your tailbone under, reach it back, open the chest, scoop under and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Place the forehead on the mat. Interlace the hands with the other thumb on top. And again, roll the shoulders. Use their knuckles. Imagine we're pulling them back, 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 back. As the chest comes up, chin is tucked slightly. Reach it back and hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release it over. Release the hands off. Place your forehead on the hands. Just take a moment here. Good, and with the forehead nice and relaxed, we're going to activate the lower back muscles. So, scoop the tailbone under. Take a moment to find length through the upper body. Elbows out nice and wide. And then we start to squeeze the quads. You'll notice as you do this, your knees kind of lift up a little bit. Tuck the tailbone into the mat. We start to lift the feet off the floor. Use your lower back, feel your glutes active, using the lower body. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Gently take it back down. Good, and then from here you have options. You can rest the hands on the floor, up or down, or we can bring hands to temples, or you can reach the palms back. Your choice. This time using upper body and lower body, we're going to lift. So whichever option you're doing, we're not using the hands, we're just hovering, using the upper back to open your chest, the lower back to lift the legs. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Rest the head on the hands. Take one more big breath. Press your belly into the mat and then let it go. Good. From there we're coming back. Roll it over onto your back. Take a moment to hug the knees in. Take a little rock side to side. Good. Keeping your left knee hugged in nice and tight. Straighten the right leg. Or it doesn't have to be completely straight to begin with. Just going to take it up to the ceiling. And then we're going to point the toes as we start to lengthen away. Starting to activate the muscles here. Reach away, point the toes. Keep the lower back down into the mat. Shoulders together. Keep reaching. Hovering just above the floor. Lengthen away. Just before you touch the floor. If you do accidentally touch it, don't worry. Squeeze your quads. Hold. For 3, 2, 1. Keep the pointed toe. We're going to bring it back up. Bend that knee. Swap them over. Take the left leg up to the ceiling. It can be bent to begin with. And then we're going to point the toe. And then as you take it away, you start to straighten the legs. Slowly control abdominals in. Right knee squeezed in, left leg lengthens away. Remember, we're just taking it above the floor for a hover. You can hover wherever you want, anywhere from sort of diagonal right down to the floor. Reach away through the toes. Breathing nice and deep into the belly. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and with control, slowly bring it back up. And as you get there, you can bend the knees. This time, place your hands just underneath your sit bone. So we're just lifting up the sit bone a little. Abdominals in. Feel that lock through your core as we take both legs up. You know what's coming. We're doing the same with both feet. You can either keep them hip distance apart or bring the feet together, or the toes together, I should say, and start to reach away, straighten up, abdominals in, lower back down. Take it as far as you can take it before you feel your lower back coming up. Reach, reach, hovering above the floor if you get that far. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then you guessed it, coming back up, slow and steady. Bring it in. Separate the knees. Holding on with hands or elbows, just take that little rock side to side. And then we're going to take one more little reset. So plant the feet down. One more breath as we inhale. We're going to lift up to the shoulder bridge. And as you exhale, we release it down. Good. And now we have options as we work towards our fish pose. So warming up into it, we can use a block. So placing a block just kind of from the mid-back or a book or whatever you've got here, from not quite the waist, but not quite up at the bra strap, maybe somewhere in between. Place that down. Allow the head to rest on the floor above the block, so your shoulders are just about on the block. your shoulder blades, and then we're going to allow the hands, the palms to come out to the sides. And take a moment to get to a position where you can feel this nice arch in the lower back, but there's no stress on the spine because we're using the block to support you. You're not trying to arch here, we're just allowing it to happen. And naturally you probably relax your legs here, so we're going to rotate the hips in slightly so the knees are pointing up, toes are pointing up, and then you're actually going to flex. I don't think you can see this far on the video, but you're going to point your toes, so lengthen away, legs nice and long, pointing the toes, chest open. And you may find here that you're already naturally kind of starting to lift off your block a little bit through the lower back. And if this is where you're at today, stay here, just trying to arch the lower back, use the block to support through the chest. Or, if you're feeling like you got that, you can bring the elbows in and start to bring the top of the head onto the mat. You can keep the block for support if you want, or we can take it away. So for our fish pose, we bring elbows in so they're just sort of under the shoulders. We're going to bring the head down and then take your elbows to wherever suits you as you really arch up. Elbows are taking most of the weight, so we can be with the head barely touching the floor, so we're not straining on the neck. Each inhale, feel the chest lift. As you exhale, reach, point the toes away. Fish pose. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Use the elbows to lift up. Place the back down. Bring the knees in. Take a moment to lift up through the butt. So a few little lifts. And then hug them in. Gently lift chin up to knees as well. And then rest the head back down. Take a hold of your knees. Draw some circles. Feel that nice little massage through the lower back, through the hips. And then drawing some circles the other way. And if you've got space and you're comfortable, take a moment here to just roll up and down the spine. So you can come all the way up to seated and all the way over towards a plough or your deaf man's pose, or that can be a simple little lift and lower here as we just take that stretch up through the mid-back. Or if, like I said, plough pose is in your practice, you can take it all the way over towards the plough pose and then bring it up. It really is your choice. If you really want to challenge yourself just for the end, we can bring it up and try and come onto your feet. So we roll, no hands, up onto the feet if you fancy a bit more challenge today. Whatever option you're doing, taking your last roll or two. Bring it down to the floor and we'll end where we began. So shoulder blades together, spine long. If you want your pillow, you can bring your pillow. Take the feet towards the edges of the mat and allow the knees to roll in. Left hand on the heart, right hand on the belly. Feel that movement through your chest, through your belly. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your body starting to relax down. Feel your breath slow. And as we sit like this, I want you to allow your mind to start to drift and visualize. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are sitting in front of a Zen garden. So imagine that you're sitting on a nice small wooden bench. In front of you is a big moon gate, which is a big circular opening with intricate patterns. And as you look through that circular opening in front of you, you see the Zen garden. And the Zen garden consists of small pieces of white gravel covering the whole floor. Notice how each piece is exactly the same white, exactly the same sort of size, this uniformity in the gravel, the simplicity of the white gravel. And in the middle of the Zen garden, you see 3 large rocks. These rocks look as if they're growing from the gravel, as if mountaintops appearing just above the clouds. Notice the contrast between the large rock and the small gravel, between the oddness of the 3 large rocks, the angular shapes, and the uniformity of the small gravel. As you look closer, you see the gravel has been raked left to right, seeing the little divots and ridges. And the only place that varies is around the rocks, where there is a few rows going around, circling around, and then it goes straight back into that left to right, as if the rocks have pushed through the gravel and caused ripples. And take a moment just enjoying the simplicity of that design. And as you gaze past the rocks, you notice that the garden is surrounded by a bamboo fence. Each piece of bamboo the same size, the same colour, the same height, matching the uniformity of the gravel. Only the lines on the fence are going up and down rather than left to right. Notice beyond the bamboo fence you can see the tops of some trees, some acers, maybe some cherry blossom, but not a single leaf or blossom is inside the Zen garden. It's clean and crisp and purposeful. Every single piece of gravel, every single rock, every bit of bamboo exactly where it's meant to be. Nothing excessive. And as you gaze into the Zen garden, you realize that you are also exactly where you're meant to be. You, as the viewer, in front of the circular moon gate, are a part of the garden. Take a moment to allow this sense of oneness, of belonging, of simplicity, clearing the clutter. And bringing your focus back to your breath. Gently letting the Zen garden drift away, but keeping that sense of peace, of meant to be, of simplicity. See if we can bring that with us and apply that in our life today. When you feel ready, take a little movement through your body. Gently bat your eyes open. Coming back to the here and now, so you can stay lying down if you want to stay lying down. And I will choose the card for tomorrow's session. So tomorrow we have plough pose. I touched on that a little today. It's a level down from Deaf Man's pose, and a nice counterbalance for today's backbend. And like always, there's plenty of options, plenty of things you can do if plough pose isn't in your practice. So thank you for joining me. Namaste. And I will see you again tomorrow for your next dose of daily wellness.